Hey guys, so it's 8 o'clock. In about 50 minutes, almost an hour till I gotta go to work. So I figure I'll do a quick startup video, maybe a quick drive around the block in the Z. I did test drive it yesterday after I got all the work done. And of course I took the T-tops out and it was awesome. It's actually really nice out today. I don't know how hot it's supposed to get. Now, one thing I've been told is because of the cold start valve with these cars, they run a little rich. I can't remember his whole YouTube username, but Assassin told me that. I actually forgot that these cars are supposed to run rich because of that cold start valve. So that's probably why it's idling a little high right now. But I'm sure once it warms up a little bit more, it'll start to not really have that issue. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the hood. Also check for leaks. Doesn't look like anything's leaking. I think there might be a small exhaust leak somewhere. We're leaking a little fuel right here, so I'm going to go ahead and power her down. That hose just needs to be tightened. I'm actually kind of surprised it was leaking because I could have sworn I tightened this hose right here, this hose clamp, and I started screwing it in, and I don't know if you guys can remember or you saw in the other part, but it was a lot further out. This part was, it was all the way out to like here. So I don't know if I just forgot to tighten it up or I didn't tighten it up enough, but it seems to be better now. Looks like I'm gonna have to replace this serpentine belt that goes to the power steering. But my big thing right now is I'm going to do the timing probably later today and make sure that's all right. And then once I know for a fact that that's good, I'm probably going to take it in to get it smogged. This one seems to be tight enough, but I'm just going to go ahead and tighten it a little bit more. Let's go ahead and start it up again and see if it still leaks. Actually, I'll leave these out. Put them in my pocket. So I might just have to get in there again. Runs real smooth. Real smooth. Surprisingly. Yeah, now it's running closer to normal. It's not idling as high as it was. I'm gonna go ahead and let it run a little bit more and continue checking for leaks. Idle is definitely coming down. Assassin, you were right. Hats off, sir. Let me go ahead and shut the garage door. Keep these screwdrivers in my back pocket though, just in case. And take it for a quick spin. Now, if you guys can hear that, not that. But there you go. Now it's idling at a much better idle speed now, about 750, which it should, according to the manual and according to the sticker that's underneath the hood, it should run at about 700 plus or minus 100 RPM. So where it's at right now is good enough. Let's go ahead and take it around the block. That's the reverse synchro that's going bad. The Geo had the same problem. It's just an old transmission, and I'm willing to bet a good amount of money that this car's transmission fluid has never been changed, at least not in a long time. But since I've done all the maintenance to this car and got it running yesterday, my buddy who was in the car with me, I was telling him that, man, I just cannot believe how much better the response is. I mean, it was good before. It was good enough to surprise me enough to buy this thing. But I just can't believe how much response there is out of this motor with how old it is, and I don't know how well it's been taken care of. I mean, obviously the fuel system was left in a state of disrepair, but didn't go into second all the way there. I think the bushings and the shifter here might need to be replaced. Definitely the shocks need to be need to be dealt with. There's no way around that one. I gotta say though, I love the way how the gear shift is laid out in this car. It feels like it's a real short throw, because the one in the Geo was like, you had to put it all the way up and all the way back, and you know, it's just the way the car was designed. But I mean, even in the Ranger, that obviously had a long throw shifter in it. But man, this thing drives really good for how old it is and all the other things that it needs. I'm not going to start working on all the cosmetics until cosmetics and the other things until I get this thing smogged. That's kind of been my plan. But other than that, I mean, I'm surprised it's nothing bigger that was wrong with this thing. I really am, guys. For $1,500, and I tallied up a lot of the receipts too. I've put almost $700 worth of parts and stuff into this thing. And it's well worth it. I'm sure if I had a shop do everything that I needed to do, it probably would have been double the price. Cramage, I know you want me to do a 0 to 60 in this thing. It'll happen. I'm estimating it'll be about an 8-second 0 to 60 though. I mean, it's got power mainly in the 3rd and 4th gears. You can really feel it. At least that's where I think it has the highest power bands. But it's not a bad car. I'm real happy with what I've done to it so far and how I've gotten it running as good as I have now. As I said, I am going to be checking the timing today, probably tomorrow. I just have to repair my timing light, which I'm going to bring into work with me and repair because I know there's going to be a little bit of downtime. But I'll park it in the driveway right now and check it for leaks again. Other thing that kind of needs to be dealt with as far as cosmetics go when I go and fix everything up on the interior of this car is the seat belt. Especially here, it doesn't want to retract back really all that much. I mean, it does, but it doesn't want to go back all the way, as you guys can see. So let's go ahead and check it again for leaks. Needs a little bit of a valve lash adjustment. Not seeing any leaks. That's good. Go ahead and shut her off. Another thing I've noticed too is, according to the factory service manual I have, this thing's supposed to warm up to about halfway, and it takes it a while to warm up. So what I'm kind of thinking what happened here is the people I bought this car from, they must have put in a thermostat, or the thermostat might even be bad, because it's almost like it's open all the time and it doesn't even let it get up to that normal operating temperature. So that's going to have to be something else that I'm going to have to address. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Obviously there's a lot of small things that this car needs. A radio, but that's not the highest on the priority list right now. Whole interior of this car needs to be done. But as I said, getting this thing smogged and legally tagged and registered is the top of my priorities. The weirder thing too is, I don't know if all of them do this, but if you lock it from the inside and then get out of the car and close the door, you would think that both the doors would be locked. They're not. You have to lock it with the key from the outside. I don't know if that's normal, but it's something I can live with and deal with if it isn't. So there you have it, guys.